Hi guys and welcome back. How are you all doing today? Good, bad, some routine. So this is the fourth time I think I tried filming this video. It's not really like a good video or anything, it's just every time I film it I keep on forgetting stuff or I keep on wandering off and stuff like that. So let's try this the fourth time and hopefully this time I will be happy with the video, and if not, I'm giving up. So basically what I'm going to do today is just I'm going to do my makeup and talk a little bit about how I can afford to travel as much as I do. This, I think I started like in May, the first time I filmed this. It started out because I got a bunch of like makeup from Sandra, shout out to Sandra. And I kind of wanted to make a video where I messed around with my makeup, and yeah, I went to bed with the wet hair last night, so this is, it's a little bit all over the place. I like to call this my troll hair. Because it's impossible to do anything with it. It's just gonna be like that, so just ignore it, please. Probably this put in a bun, but I don't know where it is right now. Anyway, this is the reason why I never finish my videos. I keep on rambling off on something else. I am gonna just do makeup as I usually do, because I'm not pretty good with makeup. I do think it's fun to like play around, but right now the only thing I have time for is doing makeup just regularly. Regularly? Is that a word? I don't know. I am gonna add at the end of it, I'm gonna try this sparkling lip gloss thing, and also this sparkling eyeshadow because I love sparkles. Anyway, let's just do this. At least try. I have a mirror here, so if I keep on looking like that, it's because I'm looking in the mirror. So yeah, this video is basically how I can afford to travel as much as I do. So basically this first reason why I can afford it is, well, first of all, I work as a flight attendant, so I do get what you call like a standby ticket. It basically means it's a cheaper ticket and you pay like the taxes and fees, so the flight ticket is quite cheap. I save a lot of money on that. Of course, you do take a chance when you travel on standby tickets, because if there's no room, if it's a full flight and there's no shows, you don't get off on the plane. Yeah, I save a lot of money on that, and that's the reason why I was able to travel to to Florida 2 times in a row. This year, if it hadn't been for that, I would never have been able to afford to go to both. Well, do the trip in February and in June. Very simply explained. But yeah, like if I do travel with another company and have to pay like full price for a ticket, I usually save up for a little bit longer. I'm back, so I switched to a t-shirt because it's really hot sitting in this the lights are really hot. So that's the reason why I suddenly now are in my VidCon t-shirt. Hey! Anywho, where was I? Yeah, I was talking about yeah, flight tickets. So I do get cheaper flight tickets with the airline I work for. But of course, I turn off the lights. If I do travel other places where my airline doesn't fly to, I have to pay for a regular ticket, and that is a lot more expensive. So then I usually have to save up money. That's other things I do. I do that anyway, because traveling is always a bit more expensive than what you think it's gonna be. So I usually, if I don't travel with my own airline, the airline I work for, I usually book my plane ticket quite early in advance, because that is usually a little bit cheaper. And I look at different web pages to see what's the cheapest. For example, sometimes it's cheapest with the airline itself, and other times it is cheaper through Booking or Momondo. It just depends a little bit on what you're looking at. It is usually the best, of course, to book it through the airline's itself web page, but it's not always possible. But yeah, I book my ticket I have a mirror here as well, so that's why you see a reflection. But yeah, I book it quite early, the plane tickets, if I don't fly with my own airline. No. If I don't fly with the airline I work for, I book my tickets quite early in advance. Just because that's usually a little bit cheaper if you do that. Of course, a lot of airlines have those like sales, which makes it cheaper in that moment. So we have to like pay attention a little bit, pay attention a little bit to see if airlines have like a sale or something. It's always nice when they do that. So yeah, so then when I went to Japan, I did that. They booked it a half a year in advance. I was actually supposed to go to Orlando in October instead, no, November? Either October or November instead of February, but I ended up not being able to afford it, so I had like, okay, I'm going to Japan in September. The girl I was supposed to go with, then she wasn't able to go, so I was like, okay, I can't afford it right now, I have to wait because I've just been on another vacation. So yeah, sometimes I'm smart, not always, but so I ended up like postponing that trip to a little bit later, because I did go in February to visit a friend, and I was supposed to do that in October or November, but I had to like change my plans a little bit. But yeah, I had to change my plans a little bit because of the fact that my friend that I was supposed to travel with couldn't go, and I couldn't really afford to travel by myself to visit a friend at that time. So I had to like, okay, right now I can't afford it, but I can afford it in a couple of months. Then I have saved up a little bit more money again. You can see this, wee. So yeah, it's a lot about saving money for a new trip. If I know I'm going for a new trip, and if I'm not going for more than one trip this year, for like more than one trip, I usually like try to, okay, when I go shopping and stuff like that, how much do I need? Do I really need it? I end up always taking up more makeup now than what I do usually, because I'm just getting distracted. Anywho, I have a song stuck to my brain. Yeah, save up money. It's basically another point. When I know I'm going to something, I was like, okay, for the next few months I have to save up, take from separate paychecks. For example, one paycheck goes to hotels, another paycheck goes to flight tickets, and yeah, stuff like that. Not take all the payments in one go, because that's gonna be expensive. At least I try to. I usually travel off season, so that helps a lot because it's usually a lot cheaper than what it is normally. I think it's been a long time since I traveled like in a season. I travel a lot in June, but usually before the season starts. So yeah, I know this is the wrong brush, don't hate me for it, but it works for what I'm doing right now. And of course I do pay attention to prices. I go, because for example, when I go to hotels, I look at different type of booking places. For example, Booking, hotels, Expedia, their own page and stuff like that. Sometimes different places have sales. Delete the cookies on my computer if I've been on the same page several times, because then have a tendency to go up in price. And I always like prepared for the worst when I go travel. I was like, okay, save up more money than I think, bring more than one credit card, don't spend more than I know I can pay back down again if I use a credit card. No, not the MasterCard. So if you use my MasterCard, I try not to spend. I always think, okay, how much can I pay down, how long it's gonna take, and try not to spend more than that. That's really important, because it's easy when you go on vacation, like, okay, I'm just gonna spend everything, and I'm like, oh, I can't pay that down. So be careful in that when you're traveling. Don't spend more than you can pay back. Really, really important. So yeah, that is basically my story right now on how I can afford to travel as much as I do. It's basically, I put it there. Yeah, I work as a flight attendant. It gives me a cheaper ticket for flight. That really, really helps me a lot. I travel off season, which gives cheaper flight tickets, or also cheaper hotel tickets. I look on different web pages where I book, and what else was I thinking? I was thinking of something else as well, but I forgot. What was it? I tried to put a light here, but right now it's kind of like giving me bad. I wish I could have that there. That would be a lot better, but This is better. This is my light, by the way. That if you're wondering what I'm holding up, because it's been here, but perfect. This is what I think about. Professional YouTuber. Why do I have this song stuck in my brain? I don't know. I'm not gonna sing it for you either, because it doesn't make any sense. I wish I had another song stuck in my brain that made more sense, because this one is just something I randomly heard on TikTok. I get addicted to TikTok lately. I don't know why. I don't make TikToks. I try, but I'm not good at it. I just think it's fun to watch for hours upon hours. And that's the reason why I have like random songs stuck in my brain all the time. Because I heard like one snippet of it and I have it stuck in my brain all the time, and it's really annoying. What was another point I was thinking about? Oh yeah, I usually don't stay at the most expensive hotels unless they have like a really good deal or I want to splurge a little bit. I have stayed at hostels, I stayed in motels. So yeah, look a little bit around like what you want to stay at. If you do stay at more cheaper places and hostels and motels, do read the reviews. At least that's what I do. Make sure that I'm staying at a safe place and a clean place. That's always important. Look at the reviews. All the reviews are not gonna make sense, of course, because not everyone's gonna be happy no matter what you do. There's always someone that's gonna complain. That's always the good, like a fun thing to think about. Always somebody that's gonna complain. So yeah. And earlier in my life, the reason why I was able to travel as much then, because most of the places when I travel, I have lived there or worked there or studied. For example, when I went to Australia, I studied there, so I was able to like travel around that area a lot easier than if I hadn't done that. Also, I worked for Disney, so I was able to go in there for free. The first time I ever paid to go into the park was now in June. That was expensive. But yeah, so that has helped me a lot. Like when I lived a lot of places, it has made it able for me to travel a lot. For example, I lived in Townsville, Australia. I lived in Orlando, worked for Disney. I lived in Iceland for half a year. Is it in or out? Yeah. I lived in Iceland for half a year. I lived in Kristiansand for 2 years. I lived in New York for 4 months. Not in New York, but Beacon, New York, close to New York. I had a base there. So I moved a lot around, so I have, that's the reason I was able to like travel there. The first time I ever went to the States where I was when I worked there. The first time I ever went to Australia is when I worked there. I studied. The first time I ever went to Australia is when I studied there. So that has given me a lot of opportunities to travel in that areas. And I feel like it's important for me to mention that that I was able to travel to Australia did help a lot. That I did inherit a little bit of money when I was younger, not like crazy amount, but enough to make it possible for me to go to Australia and study there for a year. I am super grateful that I was able to do that. I will never take that for granted. My sister was probably the smart one when it came to that money. She spent it wisely in buying her own apartment and stuff like that. Me, on the other hand, did not. I was like, I'm gonna travel! If you ever wonder who's the smart one of us, it's my sister, not me. But yeah, I've never regretted it. I am super happy that I chose to spend that money on traveling and studying. Of course, I wish I was a bit smarter with it and maybe save a bit more money and spend it on my own place to live. I would have done that if I was smarter, but I'm not, so hey. And of course, when I live in an apartment with 2 other people, so I save money on that as well. Whee! I save I'm so easily distracted. So I save money on that as well. It is expensive to live in Oslo. I am of course hoping to be able to afford my own place soon, but right now one part of my brain is like, remember to save money, you have to afford your own place soon. And the other part of my brain is like, did you see those cheap tickets to Australia? So you know, the struggle is real. I love travel. That's like one thing that I really, really love to do. And of course, like, I choose to spend my money on traveling. People just choose different things to what they want to do, and my joy in life, what I like to do, is traveling. People have other hobbies, and this is my hobby, kinda like YouTube. It's something I love to do a lot, and I think it's fun. People have, for example, car interests or scuba diving interests, but I have traveling interests. So it's like we all have our different hobbies, so to say. But yeah, I never really realized how expensive it was to go into the Disney parks before I had to pay for it myself. The struggles of having workplaces and then suddenly have to pay for it and I don't do it anymore. And also, when I've gone back to Disney after work there, I have friends that work there, so I've been able to get like into the parks for free, but not in June. So that was fun and expensive. But I think it's important to get those reminders once in a while that, okay, the things for you have been like either cheap or free for a while, it's not that cheap or free for everyone else. I think that's really important to get those reminders once in a while. I had that reminder, so I've always worked for my own things, like I've always been told by my parents, like, if you want to do something you have to pay for it yourself, and I've always been really grateful for that. They always told me, like, if you want to do something you're more than welcome to, but you have to pay for it yourself. And I was like, okay, that's fair. If I want to travel somewhere, or if I want to buy something, I have to work for it myself, and that makes sense. So I always worked and stuff like that. I have a lot of summer jobs and always wanted to work so I could pay for myself. When I got back from Disney, I had like a 3 months time where I didn't get a job. That doesn't sound, it's not a lot, but for me it was a really both good and bad experience. I hated it like a lot, to not be able to pay for myself, not be able to pay for my own place to live. It was horrible for me. I know a lot of other people, like, it takes a lot longer time to get a job. People don't get a job, so I can't complain, but at the same time that was an experience for me, and it felt horrible at the time. Again, I know that 3 months time without a job is not a lot, but for me, I moved out when I was 16. Well, I kind of moved out. My high school was 2 hours away, so I lived at the school, went back in holidays and weekends, but I moved out kinda when I was 16. So I was used to taking care of myself. I worked for my money. Hello, so I'm currently editing this video now, and I felt like that I forgot to mention the fact that my parents of course helped me a lot when I needed it when I moved out when I was 16, because of the school that I went to was quite far away. So they would help me, of course, if I needed extra for like bus tickets or food and stuff like that. But I did also get what you call a borteboerstipend, which is basically for students like me that goes to high school that is far away from your hometown and parents, so you need a place to stay, so you need to pay for like rent and stuff like that. So, but then that wasn't enough. My parents would help me, or I would get I had a small job once in a while to pay for like extra things. For example, when I did the Russetid, I had an extra job to do that. So yeah, I just want to explain to that. Of course, my parents helped me out if I needed it, and the reason why I moved out when I was 16 was because the school I went to was 2 hours away. It was really strange coming back at the age of, how old was I? I was 22, 23, something like that. And when I got back from Disney, 23, I don't know, something like that. Not having any income for me to pay for myself was not fun. To say it simply, it was really horrible for me, but it was a good lesson to learn that not everyone can afford everything as well. Like, sometimes you get in your own little mind, like, of course you can afford this. The reality of it is, no, not everyone can afford it. And you think sometimes when you buy something or do something like, oh, this was really cheap, but in reality it's not. So yeah, I think that was a good learning experience for me, even though it was just a 3 months period. It felt like a lot longer, and yeah, I just felt like I should add that. So yeah, don't come for me and say, oh, you only were out of job for like 3 months, ooh, boo-hoo, cry me a river. I know it's not horrible amount of time, but for me it felt really horrible at the time because I sent out a lot of job applications. It's horrible to again and again see you, no, sorry, no, or not get answer at all. That's the worst actually. When you don't get the answer, you just wait and wait and wait and never get the answer. Am I trailing off again? I think so, but I think I'm gonna be more happy with this video, hopefully, because I wasn't giving up. So yeah, I think that's basically the simple version. Like, I know not everyone can afford to travel as much as I do. I have full and 100% understanding. I'm really lucky, but it also has a lot to do with my job. And oh yeah, of course, that's one thing I forgot to mention. It's like, I only have myself to think about. I don't have a boyfriend, very single. Can you see that? By myself on the floor doing my makeup at 2 p.m. So I only have myself to worry about, and when it comes to money, it's basically just myself. That has a lot to say, of course. When you get a family and kids, it's not only yourself anymore. So yeah, I know that the second, like, when I get kids and stuff like that, it's not gonna be that easy to travel anymore. And so right now I travel as much as I can. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to make this video to make clear that I know that I don't want to put out the impression that it is, I don't know, that everyone can travel as much as I do. I don't want to put out that impression of it, because I do have a travel kind of channel. I have a travel channel, and I just want to make it clear that it's expensive to travel. It is really expensive to travel. Always save up money. I always realize that it is going to be more expensive than what I think it's going to be. I always had it in the back of my head when I travel. But I just want to make that 100% clear, that I am 100% aware that not everyone can afford to travel, and it's not like, I am extremely lucky that I'm able to do it as much as I do. I am never ever taking that for granted. I'm not like, oh yeah, everyone can do that. No, not everyone can do that. It is expensive and takes a lot of time and planning. But yeah, that is basically it. I get cheaper tickets. I plan ahead. I book tickets in advance if I'm able to. Not always, but I do. I travel as much as I can outside of season. I look at different booking sites to see if they have any sales. I don't stay at the most expensive hotels. Yeah, and a lot of the things that I mentioned throughout the video. I hope that was kind of cleared that up a little bit. There's one thing I have noticed myself as well when I see my friends or people I follow on YouTube, on Instagram, travels a lot. I want to do that too. Sometimes you have to realize, okay, can I afford this? Do I want to go there just because somebody else has gone there, or do I actually want to go there? I think that's really important to realize, that you can't do that what everyone else is. You can't travel where everyone else are traveling. That was a lot for my brain apparently. Try this really sparkling lipstick. Let's like lip gloss. And I always have like one place that I like always want to like go to. For example, the longest time I wanted to go to France. That was like, for years I wanted to go there. And finally I was able to go there. And then after that, new place I want to go to was Japan. Now I've been there, so I was like, yes, finally. But when I go on these types of trips, I always save up more money, because I know I'm gonna spend more money on these trips. Next, I don't know what the next place like I really want to go. I think, well, right now I really want to Svalbard. I really want to go to Svalbard, and I think I might be going there next year, so that's gonna be fun. And that's also one of those trips that's gonna be really expensive, because I know it's really expensive for the trips and everything at Svalbard. I don't usually have this on, but I just want to try it. Ooh, that's bright. But I like it. I kind of like the color of it actually. And I know I need to do my eyebrows. I've been thinking about that for like half a year. I just haven't gotten around to do it. I know. Don't you worry, I know. I actually really like this color. I actually really like it. I was surprised. It's like, it's really like bright, but I really actually like it. Gonna blend it out a little bit more. This has ended up being a lot longer video. I hope you guys bought some snacks. Yes, I think that's about it. So where do you guys want to see me go? Is there anywhere like in the world you would love to see me go? I'm always open to suggestions. I hope this video is good enough so I don't have to do this one more time, because I'm saying the same things. I'm never like happy with it for some reason. Look at this. It's I should stop going to bed with wet hair. But I'm probably gonna do it again and again and again. Yeah, I think that's just about covers it. Like, for me, but like what does it for me, like how I'm able to travel for me. Everyone else has their own stories. Everyone does their own thing. But yeah. What is your next destination? Where are you planning on going? Is there anywhere in the world you would like to see? And what do you do to save money? How do you afford to travel when you do? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm always curious to see other way to do it. It's always like fascinating for me. Like, how do people save the money? How do people do it? Yeah, I always find it really fascinating to like know how other people can afford to do their travels. Like, what goes through their process of doing this. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below. And if there's anywhere in the world you'd like to see me go, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, I will see you guys hopefully soon. Bye!